All righty. I think that's me. I think that's it. Hey, everybody. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute. It's been almost 2 weeks. So I am so sorry about that. Been a little bit of a wild ride over here for me. As you saw, if you follow my social media, I got to go glitter at Jazz Fest, which was amazing. And I had the time of my life, and that was really, really cool. And so I kind of found out about that. I won't get into all the ins and outs of that, but I wanted to really really turn up, really like show up and do like good work. But I did not have like a ton of time to prepare, so I kind of threw myself into that for a little while. And so then I got to go glitter at Jazz Fest, and I did a whole post on my Patreon just talking about the 6 shoes that I did at Jazz Fest. This feels like a lifetime ago. I did another burger. This time I did a two patties. I made it an even bigger stack, and I made a couple of changes. I used Buggy's boogers for the pickles instead, and I liked that even better because it's so like neon. And I did a bead fence on a boot, and I'm going to do a whole post on the bead fence slash the bead tree because I have so much I want to talk about in the context of that. Um, I did a bead fence. I did a double cheeseburger. I did a shoe that was like floral themed, really beautiful floral themed. And then like it was green thumb, so it was sort of a pretty sort of leafy green. And then I put flowers all over it and bees and ladybugs and stuff. And that one, the kids really loved watching me put that together. I had this like crowd of kids watching. That was really fun. Very such a treat to share our culture with children. So both locals and tourists. I really cannot say enough good things about my experience glittering at Jazz Fest. It's the first time I've ever done it. And it was very, very cool. I don't know if I'll be able to go back, but it was wonderful. It was amazing. So definitely a lot of my creative focus went to that. But creative focus well spent. Anyway, cheeseburger, floral, I called it Mayday, Queen of the May. Um, Mayday, Queen of the May. Um, Bead fence on a boot. I did a treasure chest, and this one I did like a swamp pirate treasure chest. I put some little jeweled alligators with the treasure chest. That one came out really cute. I did a little champagne toast, very similar to this one that I did last year. And I'm going to do some more of these because this is really fun and really easy. Um, we have the bottles and the little flutes at Craft Culture, and then the pink chiffon ruffles. I've already shown y'all how to do those. And then it's just those white foam balls and pearls. And I popped a little crown on there, kind of like, I don't know, Marie Antoinette vibes. And I'm gonna put, while I'm looking at her, I'm gonna put a little glue on the crown. So as you can see, what happened is I had her set aside for somebody who needed a shoe. And there was a miscommunication, and they didn't. A friend of mine was like, "Oh, I don't really do shoes, but there's one person I want to give a shoe to." And I was like, "Cool, I've got a great one right here. I'll leave it for you." And then we got our signals crossed, and she didn't get it, which no problem. I took the 6 off, and I'm going to put a 7, and then she's going to go in the pile for next year. And I might fix some stuff, shore her up a little bit. But yeah, just bubbles, little champagne toast, little two flutes and a bottle, easy peasy. So I did one of those at Jazz Fest, and then I did an everything bagel, and boy, I was on the fence about even bringing that one because I packed it. My thought was like, all right, your brain isn't always what you need to pack in case your brain needs to be soothed by something sort of zen. You need to pack something like a project that's going to feel good for your brain, just in case you get overwhelmed. And it was wonderful. I didn't, I enjoyed it start to finish, but I packed the everything bagel kind of like in case of emergency break glass. I was going to like, if I needed to just vibe with some rhinestones, that was going to like reset my brain. And so I worked on the rhinestoning out there at Jazz Fest, and I just rhinestoned that whole bagel with my everything bagel mix. And which plug, we sell at Craft Culture the glass rhinestones in the shape that makes all the different shapes that make the everything bagel topping. Um, so if you saw pics of that and you were like, I want that rhinestone mix, we curated that. Only we would do such a thing, and we did. Mm. Ooh, trying to hydrate. I'll get into why. Um, so I did those 6 shoes at Jazz Fest. I think I said all of them: cheeseburger, bead fence, pirate, swamp pirate, Queen of the May, champagne toast, everything bagel. Those were my 6, and it was wonderful, and it was amazing, and it was so cool. But I did spend like a lot of my creative energy doing that, so I was a little bit like not wiped out exactly, but kind of like my space was a mess. That was like my top priority for a couple of days. Um Again, creative energy well spent. I have no regrets, and it was wonderful. But that kind of took me out, and then just as I was kind of like, all right, let's jump in. I'm ready to get back to the shoe marathon. I need to get in there and make some more content. I want to like share with people. Right when that happened, my whole household got norovirus. So we were all um I was you guys I was in no position to be hopping on and doing. I was barely very fatigued. I did not get hit as bad as some people I know got hit. I hear it's been making the rounds. I hear that we are not the only household. And of course I have school-aged children, so comes with the territory. So that's where I've been, and in the meantime, I've been working on some little minis, some stuff that didn't require me to like fully get into like the whole thing, small stuff that I could do, small scale. So I've been working on gelatins because in June I have a sold out workshop to do the atomic cocktail party, which is it's stiff competition because I love they're my parties are like my workshops are like my children. I love them all in different special ways, but that one is probably one of my favorite themes of all time. All right, you can maybe see that first things first today, no matter what else we do, I am making the flippin' shrimp to finish this last shrimp po' boy. That has been just sitting there making puppy eyes at me. It's like that joke of like the vegetables in your fridge watching you as you order takeout. The shrimp po' boy has just been sitting waiting for just a bit more filler. So we are going to do that first thing. First thing. And then we're going to get into our May shoes. So the last time I was in here, I'm laughing because you have to laugh, otherwise you're going to cry. The last time I was in here, I was like, oh my God, I have so many shoes done. I'm sitting pretty. I can work on any in May. I'm going to do fun stuff. I'm going to do like whatever I feel I'm going to do. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, ooh, I want to do maybe something with big, like fancy transfers. I want to do this. I want to do that. And then, you make a plan, and then the universe humbles you a little bit. So we are now more than a third, a third of the way through May. So May is not going to be. The good news is the good news is I gave myself a nice head start. I have 20 shoes done in 3 months. Well, or I will once I finish this girl. I have 20 shoes done in 3 months. So that means that to be on schedule, my average of 6 shoes a month, I only, quote unquote only, I only need to do 4 shoes in May. And since May has already been a little bit wild and a little bit you know, tumultuous. Um, I am going to do 4 pretty chill shoes. And that way I know that I'm like on schedule. I'm not putting too much pressure on myself. I'm not freaking out. As I get that done, I can like start to get into fancier stuff later on. I can start to like prep because I know I want to make some more berry baskets. I showed y'all kind of what the berry basket looks like. I would love to do that. This, as y'all remember, is my fish fry mix that I use on my little fried shrimps. And I'm pretty low on that, but I'm hoping that I don't need to mix more. I'm hoping I can eke it out. Though I feel like projects can kind of tell as you get to the end, you start to really have to stretch it. Okay. And as a reminder, I do not, once you've put wet glue on there and glitter, I'd say don't put any more wet glue and glitter on top of that. These don't count. Shrimp. These don't count because if they get clumpy, they just look breaded. One. Ah, ah, ah. Okay. I am going to put a little bit of baklava in there. Is my sous vide handy? I would like to put a little more sous vide in there also. Okay. Whew. But yes, I'm trying to hydrate. I'm still feeling pretty fatigued and pretty like, woo, like I would like to lie down. But you know what I say, we can't throw excuses off the float. So I'm gonna be chill today, but I am gonna, even if you just do a little bit, it's better to do slow and steady. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do slow and steady. And we can't be going 2 weeks with no progress. I'm glad I got that head start. I'm glad that I made hay when the sun shone, if you will. Make hay while the sun shines. I made hay while the sun was shining. And so I had a little bit of a head start. So when stuff started to get a little wacky, I wasn't like, oh no, my goals. Though I do want to reiterate that my goals are for me. I'm not contractually obligated. I'm not, if you get on the float and you don't have everything you dreamed of having, you have still participated in the experience of giving the crowd a beautiful, free Mardi Gras. But for my own peace of mind, the 6 shoes per month is my goal. So, what I'm going to do this month, coming up, looking forward, I am going to do berry baskets. And I'll tell y'all, I got these. I'm gonna do another basket where I do strawberries and blueberries for sure because I want to show y'all that because it's so freaking adorable. And people have been like, "Oh, you should do a class. You should do a class. You should do a party. You should do a kit." It's. I think it's simple enough that like if I give you the shopping list and show you kind of this is kind of how it looks, my sense is that that will be enough. I love, don't get me wrong, I love throwing workshops, but I'm one person. I'm one human being, and so I try to save my available slots for doing workshops for things where it really benefits from me being there to instruct you or situations where me putting out a really good buffet of craft embellishments really makes the experience, like enhances the experience. So there are plenty of things where it's a kit and a workshop. Typically it's a workshop first and then we offer it as a kit, because once we've done the workshop a few times we kind of get a sense for like which steps people want help with, or which supplies are in the buffet and everybody grabs them and loves them, and which supplies go in the buffet and nobody really is into them. And so that kind of that's kind of how we design our kits based on like real life workshop attendee experience. But like the cocktail party, I am going to put a kit out for that. It's going to be smaller because the cocktail party it's it's got a lot. So the workshop, and I am going to put more workshop dates up. The first one that I put up, I love really niche esoteric things. I love, like, when I first did the St. Joseph's altar class, I was like, this feels to me like it could be really cool, but I might just be I might be this might have a very limited audience. I am in that audience, but it might not be everybody might not feel about this like I feel about this. I mean, St. Joseph's altars are very New Orleanian, and a lot of people I know have emotional connection to them, but you just never know. You never know which topic is going to resonate with people and which one isn't, because you're, again, only one person, and you can talk to your friends and be like, well, what do you think of this? And I of course have my amazing business partner at Craft Culture, and she is also doing very cool workshops coming up. Um, but on some level, you kind of have to like throw the spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. Big part of art is kind of throwing the spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. You got 5 little shrimpies. 2 more, and then we will let them dry. We will touch them up and we will finish the shrimp. Oh boy. She's been sitting for a while. Um, so I wasn't 100% sure that everybody would kind of be as into that atomic cocktail party theme. And by atomic, I mean like mid-century, like the kind of gelatins that are sort of as much for fun as the, if not as much for fun if for eating, slash maybe not for eating at all, because they had some wacky ingredients. It was a time when people were so, I've done a lot of research on the subject. This is one of my little hyperfixations. It was a time when people were so dazzled by the concept of like putting things into jello and making weird little works of art that were technically edible out of jello with things encased in the jello, that jello actually made like vegetable soup and Italian salad flavored jello specifically for people to do this. That to me is just such a funny little niche area of history. So I make a bunch of, this is one. This is a little gelatin that has, you can maybe see it's got little deviled eggs on top, then lime jello, then some shrimp mousse, and then at the bottom, some veggies encased in some tomatoes, cucumbers, and onions. And this one I made, and boy, she's really, she's really wacky. That is hot dog and olives. That's what that is. And I don't even know what the yellow is. Maybe like egg yolk whipped or something, like whipped mayonnaise, maybe. Who knows? But anyway, I am very into making these strange little mini molds, little gelatins. And for my birthday this year, we got together and I made a ton of them, and everybody made their little tablescape for their little party. And we did a bunch of extras. And that one was nuts. That one, like, people worked on them for 6 hours. The level of detail we went into was insane in the best way. But the experience of the workshop is going to have a slightly more interesting buffet versus the kit. Though I will have a la carte stuff as well. I'm still kind of thinking about it. I say it's not till June, and June is not that far away, but in June we also start our new glitter subscription. At Craft Culture, each year we do a themed monthly glitter subscription, and each month we pick a different topic for that theme. So like the first year we did birthstones, and so each month we did a glitter based on the birthstone for that month. So like for November, we did the citrine, and we did some twists on them. So like instead of doing a traditional blue sapphire, we did the Pad Paradasha sapphire, which is like peachy, and that was really pretty. And we also did a star sapphire, which is kind of an opaque, sort of milky sapphire with a star in it. All right. They are finally done. I have finally, and I'll tell you what the holdup was on these was I kept waiting to buy a thing of skewers at the grocery store. And I was like, it's just a few of them. I can get away with doing it in the toothpick packing foam method, which I do for like little stuff. But the good news is we are 12 days into May and finally finishing our March sandwich. It's okay. It's okay. There's no particular pace. There's no particular, it gets done when it gets done, and there's nothing to worry about. We got real problems in the world. Glitter doesn't need to be a problem for us. We can enjoy our glitter. So June also begins our subscription. So when we launch a subscription, that's a lot. We put a lot into our subscriptions. Are not a situation where we're like unloading something that we didn't like. We put our favorite stuff in the subscription. The Heavenly Bodies, a lot. I would say probably a third of the Heavenly Bodies glitter, which was our theme 2 themes ago, about a third of those were so popular that we always start out with them possibly being limited edition. because we just don't know. So if you definitely want to get it, you should get it when it's out. But then if it's very, very popular, it stays forever. Gumbo Zare, which is one of our most popular glitters now, was originally a limited edition, and the demand was too high for it. So we listen. Um, we're never saying it's limited edition and not meaning that. We aren't like trying to trick anyone. We aren't like, oh, buy now, because we truly don't know. But at the same time, if people love something, we aren't going to be like, oh no, sorry, limited edition. Better luck next time. So that's kind of how the monthly subscription works. So our upcoming one is called Lore and Legends, and it's all like things from myths and folklore and like ghost stories and stuff. So it's all lore and legends. That's our upcoming theme. You can sign up for that at Craft Culture, and each month, if you're a subscriber, each month a jar is held for you. And so even if you don't make it in there, it'll if it sells out and you're a subscriber, you still have yours saved. So all that May is also wacky because it's the end of the school year, so there's end of the school year stuff to do with my kids. So another good reason to lots coming up in June. Classes, workshops, kits. My kids are gonna be wrapping up school, and so there's wrap up school stuff to do, registration and just end of the year stuff and field trips and permission forms and test results and all sorts of stuff. So what I'm gonna do for May is I went through my stash. I dug through absolutely everything and found all my little random veggies, mostly potatoes, but we used to carry different veggies, and I have a few of them here, so I'll mix them in. We used to be able to get, and it breaks my heart that we can't get these anymore. We used to be able to get these absolutely adorable little garlics and onions, and they were so cute, and they were the perfect size for the crawfish boil. And then they stopped making them, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. So now our crawfish kit it used to come with a mix of vegetables. Now it comes with all potatoes. Just how it is, I'm afraid. We found these garlic they're too big though. I don't like them. They're the wrong size. Like scale is very important when you're working in miniatures. So like if that's your crawfish, that can't be your garlic. That would be bananas. So anyway, I digress. I have only one piece of corn, so I'll have to buy some corn a la carte at the shop. I've got some lemons to mix into, but I counted a little crawfish and I've got almost 3 dozen crawfish. So, I buy a dozen and then the kit comes with a dozen, but you don't really need a dozen for the kit. So, I'll use 6 or 8 and then save the others. And so going through, cleaning up, organizing all my nooks and crannies, I have found this much vegetables. Mm, and I have found 3 dozen crawfish. So what I'm going to do this month, since I only need to do 4 shoes this month, I'm going to do 2 of the classic pouring crawfish pots, suspensions. It's going to be a silver shoe. It's going to have a little pot pouring out the crawfish onto the like quote unquote table. Oh, it'd be cute to decoupage newspaper. I've seen people do that. No, we're gonna be chill. But that is something you can do. You can decoupage newspaper on the shoe, and then the shoe is the newspaper. That's really nope, nope. Another time. Another we will do that on another occasion. This month, the way May has been going, we're gonna just chill and do the shoe is going to be all silver, just a silver shoe, because I feel like that coordinates nicely. And then I'm also going to so I'm going to do a pair of shoes. This pair of shoes is going to get that suspension, that pouring bucket or boil pot, not a bucket. You don't boil crawfish in a bucket. I guess you could. I'm not the boss of you. So we're going to do 2 suspensions, just a classic, pretty little pointy pump these are going to get done in silver, and they're going to get buckets of crawfish pouring. And then the other 2 crawfish shoes that I'm going to do, the other version of that design is I'm going to do, and this is already silver, but I'm going to glitter her silver. I'm going to do the boil pot, the boot as the boil pot. So that is a similar design in that it has crawfish. I guess not a similar design at all. But the crawfish, you make the boot the boil pot and you fill it up like the crawfish are all boiling up top. And then what I like to do to make that extra fun is I do a suspension of like crab boil pouring in. And so this is, I believe, the first time we're doing a suspension. These are our first suspensions in the marathon. So that's exciting. So for people who are curious about how suspensions work, I can show you that this month, but it'll be a couple, it'll be 4, relatively chill, easy peasy shoes. And if you're eagle-eyed, you maybe noticed that I started pulling some peppers and maybe some shrimps. I have also done this design with a gumbo boil pot, like a gumbo pot, not a gumbo boil pot. That's not a thing. I've done it where the pot is a boil pot that is boiling crawfish, and I've done it where the boot is a gumbo pot. And it's got like the gumbo crabs and shrimp, and I do green instead of red when I fill it with my foam balls. And I'll show y'all what the foam ball filler looks like. But the the boot boil pot is very chill. Comes together nice and quick. It has a lot of the features that we love. It's a monochrome shoe and a monochrome boot. What I love, all right, so today I'm going to do my crawfish and I'm going to do my shoes. So not a huge amount today, but it doesn't need to be a huge amount. We're getting back into the flow after a wacky couple of weeks. So I'm going to do the crawfish and then I'm going to do the shoes. Let me get started with the crawfish. Okay. So 3 dozen crawfish. Let's go. When you are doing your crawfish, you have to hold by something. So I typically I pinch the tail, if you will. I hold by the tail, spread the glue every which way. And I do that because the glue kind of settles in between the little legs. And so if you kind of add a little bit of, it moves it so that it doesn't clump. So I'm holding it by the tail. I don't have any glitter on the tail. That's okay. Normally I would use Boil Master. That's my #1 recommended. I mean, it's called Boil Master because it's blended to look like boiled crawfish. And that's what comes in the crawfish boil kit, is a jar of Boil Master. But today I have a lot of Solo Cup bread, Solo Soleaux, which is our glitter homage to Han and the Solo Cups, one of our very favorite sub-crews in Chewbacca's. I'm gonna set that down. One of our very favorite sub-crews in Chewbacca's. We love them very much. Big supporters of NOLA craft culture, so that's one of the best ways we can show our love is to name a glitter after you. Okay. Okay. Same thing there. So I have a bunch of Solo Cup red because I bought a bunch of Solo Cup red for the berry party when we made our berry baskets, me and my friends. That wasn't like an open workshop. We just got together and worked on berry baskets. Um, I'll see if they're chill with me sharing the photos of the berry baskets they did because they're so cute. But yeah, maybe next month, maybe this summer, I definitely want to do. You good, bud? Cool. I want to do some berry baskets, and I have these really beautiful Easter eggs. I want to do an Easter egg basket. I don't particularly care that's incredibly seasonal. All right. So what we're gonna do is pinch the tail, and so when they dry and we're doing our second coat, we're gonna hold it by a claw. And so technically, one spot on the claw and one spot on the tail will only have one coat. So we hold it like this, we glitter everything except the spot we're pinching, we put it down, we let it totally dry, then we come back and we go badoop, and we do the same thing, and that's where we get the tail. So there are technically 2 little spots on the crawfish that don't get 2 full coats, but it's gonna be okay. It's still gonna work out just fine. And that way, everybody's sparkly, but you're not holding wet glue. So that's my preferred crawfish methodology. So yeah, Solo Cup is very, very beautiful and works very, very beautifully for this. It's a really pretty red. Beautiful. And plus, I like to think about the people who I think about when I think about this glitter. It's nice to have the glitters that like remind you of your friends or the projects that remind you of your friends. Sometimes people are like, "Oh, how do you feel about people copying you?" And it's like, well, first of all, I think throw artists are different from normal artists in that people aren't like selling stuff. Quite the opposite. We are spending a lot of money. So to me, it's slightly different. But I also think that like I'm very happy to inspire people. It makes me feel I really want to empower people to make things. Oh Lord, my battery. Okay. It's okay. We're going to get done as much as we can, and wherever we stop, there we stop. But the important thing was to get back in and get going. I already feel a lot better. I was so like it's like, "Oh, I want to go do the shoe marathon, but I feel so weak." If I could glitter in my sick bed, y'all, I would, but even I draw the line there. But what I was saying is like I think if you're making a shoe that I showed you how to make, or like you're doing a technique that I taught you either in a class or in a video, or like we were hanging out and I was like, "Ooh, have you thought about doing this?" You're thinking of me, and I think that's really nice. Not in like a narcissistic way, but in a like we're all connected sort of way. So, I think that's beautiful. I think steal away because I like being involved even if I'm not there. And I do not think of it as I know some people get very particular about it, and I'm not telling anybody how to feel about anything, but me personally, absolutely. If I make something and you like it, I hope you make it and feel great doing it. Put your own spin on it. We are all human artists, even if you wanted to make a carbon copy of mine. Even if I wanted to make a carbon copy of mine, if I took a shoe that I made and I sat down and I did my absolute best to copy it, I still could not because human hands, introduce stuff. And I love it when I make the same shoe more than once and figure things out as I go. And I'm like, oh, actually, I really like this. Oh, next time I'm going to do this differently. Oh, I see how this time I didn't do it like I did this the first time. And I actually liked the way I did it the first time better. And here's why. And maybe I can do it more so. I think that's really cool. So if you see me doing something and you're like, that's really cool, but I bet if I did such and such or this and that or some other way of doing this part, it would be even cooler or even more me. I love that. That's awesome. And I love to see it. So if you are making something where you feel like I did something to inspire you and you want to show it to me, I will ooh and ah over that like I'm looking at my glitter grandbabies. So never feel never feel bad for borrowing my stuff. I am happy to have inspired you. Okay. Whew. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. All right. We're getting there. This is one that getting all the little mud bugs glittered is kind of, you know, repetitive. But then when we put it together, it's going to be so nice. And you could, if you were feeling a little scrunched for time and a little, messy, messy, stressy, lemon zesty about it. Y'all have to forgive me. I'm not running on a full tank of brain cells. I'm so tired. But we keep going. We keep it on. Keep it rolling. What was I even talking about? Oh, if you're feeling kind of stressed and you want to use the crawfish not glittered, they are that is absolutely okay. I really love them glittered. I really think it makes it special and kind of magical to have like all the crawfish pouring out of that pot be glittery and light catching and luscious. Really does something for me. I'm also a sucker for like a rhinestoned lobster as an accessory. When I see outfits that have that, I like something about that. I love a rhinestoned lobster. Um I don't know why, but that does something for me. So I really like them all glittered, even though it does take time. But if you were feeling stressed about time and you just wanted to do a crawfish boil throw and you just wanted to use the little metallic crawfish, that would be totally fine. Just like I was saying, you can use the rings as they come on the bead. I find them a little bit cartoony, a little bit not quite as I like it to be a little bit fancier because it's, especially since I'm envisioning throwing them to people who are celebrating an engagement or a wedding or an anniversary or something like, something special, something to celebrate. All right. I like it to have the really nice, beautiful rhinestone in there, but same kind of deal. There's levels of thing, and you do not have to feel bad that. And for me, obviously, I take my shoes very, not seriously exactly, because y'all have seen me do some goofy things. But I, for me, I feel a lot of personal responsibility to make my shoes really an experience, really special. I want whoever catches my shoes. And this was at Jazz Fest, people were like talking and they were like, oh, you have to know somebody to catch a shoe. It's not how I mostly, that is not how I throw my shoes. You do not have to know me to catch my shoes. Oh, and that reminds me, speaking of knowing me to catch my shoes, I would like to do a virtual shoe toss for my Patreon people, but I need to pick a shoe to toss. So I'd love to do I'd like to do maybe the burger or like, I don't know, one of the Tiffany boxes. I'd love to do one of those. It will take a shoe out of my count, and I'll be honest about that. I'll have to catch that up. But I feel so, so grateful that people are like following along and commenting, and that really keeps me motivated. So I would love to give something back. So I would like to do a virtual shoe toss for my Patreon people. But if y'all want to weigh in, maybe I'll put a poll up over there. I don't know if you can do that. It'll be very cool if you can. And I'm happy to make something special for that, but in the past when I've done giveaways and let people kind of pick whatever they wanted, they do pick pretty laborious ones, which is understandable. No tea, no shade. But so I don't want to like sign on for I am very grateful, but I am also trying to keep on a schedule, so I don't want to sign on for something too laborious. I would love it to be one of the ones I've already done because that feels kind of special. It feels like you all watched me make those and then you can have one and kind of forever it'll be that was the one in the video. I think that would be cool. So I'm leaning towards the cheeseburger, but I'll probably throw a poll up on Patreon and see and I'll just pick one of my Patreon people at random. And that'll be fun. I've been thinking about other stuff I want to do for the Patreon for my peeps. My instigators. That's what I always lovingly call people when they enable me on Instagram, my instigators. See you later, instigator. So I wanna show my love for my instigators because it really does help me feel connected to the community even when I'm not like feeling all that social. Okay. One more. We can fit one more. How are we doing? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. All right, 20. We got 20 bugs done. That is not nothing. Whew. And this will probably be more crawfish than I need for my the 4 shoes that I have outlined myself as doing, but I would rather have them done and I can always save them for something else. Maybe I could do something else in the pot. Maybe I could do like we just had Jazz Fest, but I could do crawfish Monica maybe. Like a pot, like a cup, a bowl of oh, but you don't put whole crop. I don't know. I'm gonna think on it. We still good? Okay. Okay. So that is 20-ish. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21. 21. 21 little crawfishes. That is probably mm, one sec, y'all. That is probably I probably need about 6 per shoe, but we'll do them all. And you can do cute stuff like you it takes I personally like about 6 crawfish cascading from the pot when I do a suspension. I do not know off the top of my head how many I want in the boil pot. I guess it depends. But it is really cute to like have one escaping and you just put a nice pretty sparkly crawfish on the side of the shoe. That's really cute. So might as well go ahead and do the whole. I think I have 30. I was like, it's almost 3 dozen. It's almost 36, but I think it's 30. 22, 23, 24, 5, 6, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Got 31 crawfish. So I'll do my little 31 and I'll split them between my 4 shoes. And if I have a leftover glittery crawfish, that's not a bad thing. The other thing I was kind of thinking about, and this sounds really wacky, but like I love mini stuff so much. I'm wondering if people would be interested in doing like a cute mini of the month thing or like a cute mini quarterly thing. And I would just find cute minis and get enough of them for all the people in the club. That's I don't know how that would work exactly, and I probably don't actually have the time to do that, but the idea of it really appeals to me because I'll find like really cute minis and be like, "Oh my gosh, I want to get these for everybody else who's into minis." And we do carry a lot of minis at Craft Culture, but sometimes it's like this is too niche. And sometimes I make weird minis like the gelatins or like I don't know. I made all my weird little mini keychains. I don't know why I felt the need to do that, but I did. That would be a fun item for the mini of the month club. I don't know. Just something I'm when I'm under the weather, I tend to get very like frustrated with the fact that I'm not making anything. Like I really need the I'm like a dog that you got to take out to the park and like let it get its energy out, you know. I've got a lot of like trapped creative energy. Like I feel like I need to be expressing in some way a lot of the time. Otherwise, I start to get cranky and feel like, I don't know, artistically constipated, I guess. I'm so sorry for that visual, but like that is kind of how it feels. I feel like like I want to make stuff and I'm stuck. So I definitely start like thinking of things like, oh, what if we did this or what if I did that or like projects and stuff. And I've been giving it a lot of thought what I'm going to do the next couple of months, like the shoes I want to make in the marathon. There's also the difficulty that there's a lot I want to make, but some of it isn't like really suited to the marathon. Like I would love to do some transfer heavy stuff with y'all, but transfers just take so long. And I feel like I'm just holding my breath and tracing stuff when I'm making transfers. And I have put up some videos of me like with the overhead camera so you can just watch me make transfers. I don't know. I could certainly do that. It wouldn't be like I feel like part of what people like about the shoe marathon is that it's my face and I'm chatting and people are like, "Oh, you kept me company. I hung out with you tonight, when while I was glittering shoes, I put you on and it was like we were glittering shoes." So I don't know. I don't know if me quiet if silently watching my hands make transfers kind of accomplishes that, but I don't know. I don't know, because there are two things I would love to do that require a lot of transfers. Three, technically. I've been thinking of this design I want to do where it would need to be a big transfer on a wedge. Been thinking about that a lot. And I lately, for some reason, like a Lisa Frank vibe has been calling my full name. I would love to do some like neon rainbow 80s girl type stuff, you know? I think that would be really fun. But to really do it would definitely take some serious transfers. I've done it in the past where I've done like the ombre and I put like the cheetah print on there, and I love that. Very cool stuff. But I do want to put, I think, some cute fonts and stuff if I do that. So I need to that one needs to percolate a little bit more before I'm ready to like actually organize my thoughts around that. But I don't know. I got to figure it out. Oh, and the other thing that I would love to do, that I would love to show y'all how I do, is my pop art shoes. My little Warhol Marylands. That I think would be a fun shoe marathon project, but it would involve some overhead transfer stuff. But it's good to branch out. We could maybe do some overhead transfer stuff. The other thing I'm thinking about, and I know I've talked about this before. Again, sorry, lots of thoughts while I was not making stuff. The other thing I was thinking about is like working on stuff that isn't part of the shoe marathon. I have a tendency to be like, oh, that's not part of the shoe marathon, so I'm not going to turn the camera on. But you guys might enjoy just seeing other stuff that I'm working on, even if it's just bits and bobs, even if it's just kind of fits and spurts. Um, like right now, I'm making some St. Joseph salters and I'm working on my little gelatins and stuff. I don't know. I don't know. Thoughts, deep thoughts. 3, 6, 9, 10, 31 into the dehydrator. Okie dokie. Right. Okie dokes. So now I'm ready to start doing these silver shoes. I've got a little bit of some mixed silver that I'm going to use for my base coat. It's got a little bit of holographic in it, which I don't typically like to use for the silver on my crawfish boils. I don't know why. It just feels like I'm going for a slightly more down to earth vibe when I'm doing a crawfish boil. Though a disco, every time I'm like, oh, I don't use holographic silver for that because, like, I don't want a disco wedding. I don't want a disco crawfish boil. Who the hell am I kidding? I would love a disco crawfish boil. That sounds amazing. So I don't know. I don't know what it is about the sterling silver that I'm more into that. The DEA badge silver, which is like a true sterling silver. I don't know why I'm more into that, but I am. I actually, since this is slick, I'm gonna go straight to the DEA badge silver. I think I'll get better cover. All right, this is clean DEA badge silver. You could use your Special silver if you have it, but in this case, I'm gonna go ahead and use my DEA badge. Brrr. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Maybe I'll do red on the heel. Sometimes I do that. I've done it both ways. All silver and red on the heel and sole to match the car. Oh, boy. I missed a big space in here. I'm going to be very careful because we don't put wet glue on top of wet glue, but I missed a lot in there. Oof. Like I said, not firing on all cylinders today, but still getting it done. You do not have to be, whew, you do not have to be all there to be there. All right. One silver shoe, one silver coat. Boop. And we could, if we wanted to, get started on the boil pots, but I think since we're taking it easy, I'm going to do this, and that's going to be our day. And then next time, next session, oh, it feels good to be talking about next session. Next session, we will assemble and letter our last little shrimp po' boy so she can go in the pile with her friends. Cute pair of shoes. Ba, 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 ba. And then we'll keep working on our crawfish. So we'll do the second coat of red on our little crawfishes. That time we'll pinch one claw and do the whole thing, including the tail that we missed the first coat. And then those will be ready. And then we'll do our second coat of silver on our shoes. We'll maybe start the boil pots. We'll see. The boil pots and the tub of Zatarans. Oh, that I'll have to make a transfer for the Zatarans, the crab boil. Though I, of course, don't write Zatarans on it. Instead of Zatarans crab boil, I write Muses glitter shoes in the font and the colors. Because I think that stuff is funny. All right. Pair of silver shoes. It feels good to be back in business. Ooh, okay. 2 boots and we are Jake for the day. Woo-wee. All right. My favorite thing about boots, like actual real honest to God boots, like real boots is you can do this and you can glitter the whole thing. Whoop, but you would need glue. And you could glitter the whole thing, including the bottom, and stick and let it dry upside down. What I'm going to do today is glitter the whole thing and sit it down just for ease of. She's already pretty fun because she's silver, but I always glitter. Always, always. When the weather is nice, or rather, when the weather is not rainy, I have some big dowels outside in my yard. I sometimes stick boots on those, looking like I'm planting glitter boots out in the garden. But today I'm just going to take it easy. All righty. But see how fast a boot goes? And granted, I'm going pretty quick and it's the first coat, but still. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, yes, yes. That's what's up. And I use DEA badge silver for my boil pot, but if I'm doing a gumbo pot, I like to do something a little bit more like gunmetal. I like to use Swords Before Lords, or even Party on the Dark Side, or even Iron Throne. I guess you could do black, like a cast iron. That'd be cool. Pretty, pretty. Isn't that pretty? Woo, pretty. Mm. I'm like, I wish these were my size, but definitely not. Just checking for the spots that I missed. All right, beautiful first coat done. And so that'll dry. We'll do more silver. We'll paint some flames down her side so she looks like she's boiling. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time. All right, last one. And then that's a good session for today. I don't even know what number session we're on because it's been so long. I've forgotten. I've forgotten where we were. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Ooh, it feels really good to be doing shoes though. And normally when I do a boot, I Stick my brush in the glitter. Normally when I do a boot, I reinforce it. I take a Mardi Gras cup and I cut it and I glue like a little tube of plastic cup shape inside the boot so that it holds its shape real nice. I do not do that on my boil pots, and I'll show y'all why, because I'm going to end up stuffing them. I take the red foam balls that we sell at the shop. We sell white, silver, gold, green, and red. And the red are great for making it look like the boil pot is boiling. I'll show y'all when we get there. But I'm just explaining that normally I would reinforce a boot before I would do any glitter. But on this occasion, I do not need to. Another reason why this one is so great for when you're feeling like you want to get something done and you don't necessarily have all the time to be fiddling around. Okay. Pretty, pretty. I love this silver. It's such a beautiful silver. Whew, and just in time because I need to go lie down. Whew, but we did it. Even though we were feeling a little beat up and a little bit run down and a little bit like we got hit by the May train, whew, we still got some progress. I feel good. I feel great about that. Ooh. And I hope my not being here didn't cause anybody to stall out. But if it did, words of encouragement to finish. That's another thing. I would love to do some Project Hail Mary shoes, but I kind of got to figure out what that would look like because I know what I would like it to look like, but I maybe need to find some realism, get realistic. In my fantasies, the shoes would, I don't know if everybody's seen Project Hail Mary, but it would be like the swirly green of maybe I shouldn't talk about Project Hail Mary in case anyone's going to see it, but I would love to do, I saw it and loved it so flippin' much. I would love to do some Project Hail Mary shoes. I feel like there's definitely going to be like signs that have Rocky on them and stuff. But maybe next month, maybe later in the summer. I think that'll still be, I don't know. It's hard to tell. I do this thing where I make shoes kind of based on what's going on with me at the time. So, like, I'm making crawfish because it's crawfish season. I do snowballs in the summer. I do ice creams in the summer. I do, when I'm feeling like I'm going to do Easter eggs, even though it's not Easter. I do these things and then the way I explain it is when I make them throughout the year based on kind of what appeals to me at the time. And I'll be like, oh, I was really feeling neons that summer. Or I was really into jewel tones or whatever. And then when I'm on the float, I get to like revisit my whole year because I work on shoes the whole year. When I'm on the float and looking at them, I get to have the memories as I unpack them and give them to people. I have the memories of making them the whole year. So it's a really beautiful, really emotionally intense experience. I say that shoes are like postcards that you send to yourself in the future. You get to open them all and look at them and remember them and think about the time. I'm getting emotional, but you get to think about the experience of making them and like and again, I get out Solo Cup Red and I think about Tara, who I love more than anything. And I think about, I make something the way Jamie taught me, or I make something based on like a technique I saw Alicia do. I do these, or the berries, which I mean reminds me of Caitlin, who I love. So I get to have the experience of thinking about my people and my inspirations and my influences and the things that I was loving at the time. And then I get to have all that in one night and I get the experience of giving them to people. And that's, I mean, it's, I said at Jazz Fest to people, I'm like, they're like, you're already working on them? Like locals were like, oh, you already doing shoes? It's like, that's right, the whole year. Not everyone does them the whole year, but a lot of us work on them the whole year. We work the whole year for one night, but what a night. And it is indeed quite an experience. So I really enjoy that aspect of it. That whatever appeals to you in the moment, make a shoe based on that. And then when you're looking at all your shoes during your ride, you get to revisit it. Your own little 3D sparkly photo memory book. baby book, and the babies are shoes. On that very weird note, I'm gonna go lie down. Thank you all so much for joining me once again. I am so sorry. I will not that we will not have we will not have another 11-day long or whatever it was. We will not have another stretch like that. I am making a solemn vow. Whatever happens, we are going to keep it rolling, and we're not going to have a gap like that. But we had quite the series of unfortunate events, and sometimes that's how it goes. So join me next time. We will keep on working on our crawfish shoes, and we will start prepping for future shoes. I would say berry shoes are coming down the pike, so we'll probably start prepping for berry shoes or basket shoes, and we'll get rolling on. We'll kind of get a little bit of a start on those. We'll do those in June. And then I don't know, maybe we'll do snowballs, maybe I'll do the atomic cocktail party kit in here. I don't know. Show y'all all my weird little party tricks. And I mean not all of them. Gotta a woman's gotta keep some mystery. And yeah, we're gonna keep it going. Thank you all so much. Again, my appreciation for everyone who is supporting me over on Patreon. I supporting me in the sense of showing their support, not like not like supporting me like it's a lot. I really appreciate the support, but I don't want anyone to think that like that's um and there's no obligation to do the paid Patreon, though I do appreciate it. That is very much appreciated. Yeah, I think that's it for me. I'm gonna go have a little rest. Y'all stay sparkly. I will see you next time.